Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Pelfrey, and this is the Red Sea Reefer 250. The tank is very cloudy. I cannot figure out what is going on with the diatoms. Now, I get it. I put 2 new rocks in the tank, which could very well be leaching silicates into the water. Um, it could be my roadie, but as far as any other algae are concerned, I do have a little bit of bubble algae, but it is what it is. I'll get over this hump eventually. I want to do a video on how I take care of, more so how I run and then take care of filter socks. A lot of people don't like filter socks. They prefer to use the floss. I had the cups and the sock trays at one point, and I never really ran floss through them. I mean, I did a little bit, but not on a regular basis. The floss or any of the other filter materials just became a nuisance for me because you had to shut the skimmer off every time, unless you pre-soaked that in water or done something else to it that I'm not aware of. But I got tired of shutting the skimmer off, forgetting that the skimmer was turned off, or more importantly, having notifications on the Apex tell me every 10 minutes that the skimmer was off, which gets old pretty quickly. So I decided that I was going to run filter socks on this tank again, and I've been running filter socks for the last couple months. I have quite a few filter socks, so changing them out's not that big of a deal. I'm not on top of it like obviously I should be, where you should change them out every 2 to 3 days or whatever the ratio is right now. I change them out basically whenever I hear water in the sump. My tank runs quiet, so if I hear water, I know it's time to change out some filter socks. So what I've done now is I stirred up the sand bed to get the brown algae, diatoms, if you will, whatever it is, off of the sand bed, into the water column, down into my sump so that the filter socks can catch them. The glass does need to be cleaned a little bit, but I figured I'd go ahead and start shooting the video before I clean the glass. I do have to clean the glass about every 2 to 3 days right now. And it could simply be something with the lighting. I'm not sure. I'm not running any nutrient export right now. Obviously, I got the new refugium kit installed in my sump, but I'm waiting to get a piece of live rock out of the sump before I can put any microalgae into the sump. And I do have some Red Sea no-pox that I bought a long time ago that I could dose, but I'm kind of letting the tank go on its own, and I'm going to try to refugium out to see if I can battle some of this stuff that's going on in the tank. The point of this again is to discuss how I'm running filter socks. So let's pan the camera into the sump. One of the things that I did to accommodate a filter sock that is not a Red Sea filter sock is I took a Dremel. And it's going to be hard to see, but this black plastic here, I took a Dremel to it and cut it out to make it wider. You can see my cutting skills here weren't so straight, so I did both sides. Now these are standard bulk reef supply 4-inch in diameter and 8-inch tall filter socks. The second thing that I do is I take a razor blade and I just cut all the plastic off around them to fit into the trays here. Now I could pull these trays out and Dremel them in order to fit a OEM, if you will, filter sock in here without doing any modifications. But in all honesty, it takes like 30 seconds maximum to take a razor blade and just trim out the edges of the plastic here. So there's typically like a cup on the top of the sock. I cut it out, and it's simply to allow it to fit into the Red Sea sock tray. So a Red Sea filter sock is about, I don't know, $8 to $10, and you can get these for half the cost. So it's basically a 2-for-1 deal versus buying a stock Red Sea filter sock. I do run the, this isn't the mesh bag or whatever, this is the felt, I guess is what it is. What I do is I put 2 new socks in. Whenever the first one gets clogged or dirty, what I do is I pull this one and put it here, and then I pull the back sock and put it up front. And the only reason is you can see that the majority of the water is hitting that first filter sock. Some of it's coming to the back filter sock, so there's no point in me changing both of them at the same time when this one back here is pretty much clean. So move this one to the front, and then you know, I get a couple more days out of it, not a big deal. I've had good success running filter socks. Obviously it keeps the sump clean, and they're dirty. These filter socks are absolutely filthy. And again, it does help with keeping the sump clean as well. So let's take a quick look at the Skimmer Cup. The skimmer is running right now. You can see that it's full. The reason for this is I bought new filter socks. Typically, whenever I buy new filter socks, I wash them with old filter socks. The reason that I do that is because once they're washed and you throw them in the sump, the skimmer typically doesn't throw a fit about it. The underlying issue is I bought quite a few socks during the Black Friday sale on Bulk Reef Supply. I cut the tops off of them, and then I threw them in a bucket with my previous socks, which after I wash them with bleach, you can't really tell that they're old socks. This morning, I threw in a brand new set of socks. I went ahead and turned the skimmer off for about an hour, and then whenever I turned it on, this is what happened. The lid automatically filled up. You can see the top of it is dirty, and now I've got a mess on my hand. This is why I did not like running any type of other filter material in the cups, as I mentioned earlier. The issue that I have with this is a Nihilus 120. The cup is not the biggest cup in the world. However, when you have a small system like I do, I've got a small display that holds roughly 40 gallons. I've got a sump that holds 8 gallons maximum, I would guess. When you pull out that cup right there and then top it off with RO water, now I'm messing with salinity issues. I haven't checked the salinity, but you know, I'm pretty sure that it probably dropped from 1.026 to 1.025 just because of this right here. So the only thing I can do is pull the cup off, clean it, put it back on the tank, and do a water change here soon. This is a method that I've used for quite some time. What I do is I pull the tray that holds soap and fabric softener out of the washing machine. I grab some bleach, which is just typical Clorox bleach. I fill up the bleach tray. May as well go all the way to the max. What I do is I keep these filter socks. When I pull them out of the tank, I go ahead and flip them inside out. So the outside, which is on the inside right now, is a little bit cleaner. And what you see here is actually the inside of the sock. So some of them are a little bit dirtier than the rest, but there's some tank water in there. Don't tell my wife this is happening. So I just dump that into the washing machine. I have a smaller bucket here that's full of filter socks and water, and you can just see the grime here. Again, disclaimer, don't tell the wife this is happening right now because I'm probably gonna be in trouble. Dump these in. There's quite a few socks in there. Just go ahead and might as well dump all the water in there. Close the lid. Go to power. And what I want is I want a heavy duty cycle. I want the hottest water I can get. I have it on a deep clean setting, extra high, heavy, with an extra rinse, and then we just start the cycle. And that's it. There's nothing else to it. Simple washing machine. Throw them in there, let the washing machine do its thing, let them air dry, and then throw them back into the tank. And if you're running filter socks, I'd be interested to know how you clean your filter socks. I know there's a million ways to do it, so maybe you're doing it better than I am. As always, I appreciate you following along. Be sure to check out the website at pelfrey.net. Check me out on Instagram at pelfreysreef, and I'll catch you all on the next one.